Hello aqua friends, welcome to my channel. Today I have a very cute floral arrangement for you. I'm choosing orange and purple for the Halloween season, and let's get right into it. You're going to wet your background really well, and we're going to have a lot of fun playing with colors and letting gravity do its work. So I kind of wanted purple and orange for Halloween, and so those are the colors I'm using. I'm tilting my paper and I'm just letting these colors blend down the paper and tilting my paper the other way, adding some more colors, and leaving some white spaces is also a good idea. It just helps break up the pattern and draws the eye. Couple of splashes, purple and orange, and we have a very interesting background in order to work on. So we're going to let this whole thing dry, and in the next part I'm going to show you how I made the petals and the leaves for these flowers using a wedge brush or a triangle brush. Okay guys, I'm going to show you the technique that I use for these triangular brushes. I have some different ones to show you here. So sometimes they're called a wedge brush and sometimes they're called a triangle brush. And the only difference that I could see between the two is that the triangle brushes, the belly is a lot longer, but it still has that triangular shape. If you look at it here, we have a flat side, another flat side, and then the wedge portion that goes real skinny. Okay, that's why it's called a triangular brush, because it looks like a triangle. So kind of neat. This one is a Silver Silk 88. And this is a ruby satin. So then these ones, this was a package that I recently bought, and these ones were called a wedge brush. But again, as you can see, it does have that triangular shape, but the belly is shorter. Still has a very nice fine point. So I got a couple different sizes here. And these ones are called Bestie Fountain. I will have the link for these ones, all of these, in the description of the video. And basically, I've been spending a lot of time just practicing. So I did an autumn wreath. I'm using both sides of the paper. I was doing like roses and filling up my paper, practicing. Okay, and then using black watercolor paper with gold metallic watercolors that I was practicing, double loading my brush, just playing around with it. This one I decided to use a white gel pen to go over, and I kind of like how that gave it another little pop to the painting. So to make the buds that I made, and I'll show you the one loading. So when you load your brush, just really get it nice and juicy, and then I do get the excess off. For those cute little buds, I'm using the wedge portion, so the very belly, the back of it, and I'm just dabbing outwards, and it makes kind of like these cute little buds. And I make sure that my triangle is right next to the mark I just made, and I just move it over a little bit. If you press harder, you'll get more of an impression. Okay. You could also go around and make it a full flower, and then you could put some foliage around it, some leaves. The fuller flowers that I made, I'm basically pressing down and I'm moving, and I keep pressing to make impressions. So it's like one petal, and I have to load my brush again. And I'm gonna go right beside it, and I'm gonna continue making these impressions. So that could be like another petal, and you just keep going around And it's handy to move your paper around too, like, so that you can hold your paintbrush in the position that's most comfortable for you. Okay. So that's pretty easy. We have flowers that face us that are circular, like this one, where we see all the petals. And then some flowers are going to more fit into the oblique side, where the center is going to be here, but then we have some petals that are foreshortened that are facing us this way. And then we'll have all the other ones with the spokes of the flower going towards that. So I'll show you that kind next. So we load our brush up really good. Can start on the side here, and I make a couple of petals. So see, I'm just kind of pressing, like I said, I kind of use it as a stamp, pressing it into the paper. When you start running out of color, like I am on the top here, and it's time to reload our brush. So once I get to this part, so see, I kind of have that oblique shape already. I'm going to start turning my brush so that my point's this way now. And I'm going to do a couple of strokes where I'm starting to curve those flowers, petals inwards. And then the last one, the shape of the belly, how it already goes kind of like that. I'm going to take this, press, and then lift. And then you have that kind of shape where, so you can have them rotated this way. You can do the flower with it facing the other way, and kind of make a composition where you're kind of including that. So it's a pretty easy beginner level project, because like I said, you're just kind of using it like a stamper. Now I'll show you how I double load the brush. So basically my brush is loaded right now with all this orange. So say we'll just use the pink for instance. The very, very tip, you just want to get a really big juicy part, because you don't want extra water. You just kind of want the color. So I'm just kind of glancing over that pigment so that the very tip got the other color on it. And the technique is the exact same, but you can see how pretty that is when you add two different colors. So see, that could be one petal there. Now you could make these cute little buds fuller. So instead of stamping individually like I did here, you could stamp it so that it all kind of flows together. So that's kind of pretty. But that's how you would make, you know, the full flowers using that same concept. Now when I rotate my brush, I'm going to get some pink on the edges instead of in the middle. But I haven't reloaded my brush, so it's going to be pretty faint. And it'll add some character to it as well. Now I would like to add the pink to where it actually should go. So what I like to do is reload just the tip, and this is still wet. You could add some extra because this is still wet to the end here, so that it blends into the orange a bit more. Now to make the petals, you're actually moving your brush, you're actually doing a stroke. So I'll show you how I do that. So with the tip down, you're not using the back end of the brush, you're not using the wedge part, you're going to be using the side of it. So I like to have the bump belly up, and then I just press down, push, and then release and come back up. Press down, release, come back up. Hence why I have like 4 pages of practicing. You're just trying to practice to get that muscle memory. And then also, I mean, you can make all kinds of interesting shapes, guys. So just to show you, could do like little short, round, fat kind of flowers just by moving your brush in a different direction. So if I move it down, come back up, I get that sort of technique, right? So your belly is up, I'm going down, so that I'm kind of like making a square, but then I'm coming back up and I have a little curl. So you got fat petals, you've got skinny petals, and the skinny petals, again, it's just, you could go more on the edge of your brush and make thinner petals, like really thin petals. So just have fun with it. You can rotate your brush so belly's down if you want your petals kind of stroking down the other way. And I tend to like to use my pinky resting, and so that I could kind of hover. So just practice and have fun with it and see what you guys could come up with. Okay, so back to our background. I have my brush double loaded with orange and purple, and I'm starting off by making a couple of really large flowers. One that is going to be slightly sideways and one that's going to be facing us directly. So we have an elongated shape, a round shape. And from there, I'm just going to kind of see where I need to add some more buds or some more flowers. So doing a bud here, stamping those petals with my brush, and one more big flower. From here, guys, once we're done the flowers, I'm going to go right into some purple and start adding the leaves. So wherever you think you need some more foliage, just go ahead and add in your leaves according to your composition. Now, if I want to test out the color, I have a piece of paper there that I can test out and make sure that the color is appropriate before I go into my real project. If you want something lighter, I took a napkin there so that those little leaves could be a lot lighter in color. Now I'm using the very tip of my brush just to make a couple of filler branches. I was originally going to have like spider webs and make it spooky, and I just ended up doing a simple floral arrangement, something easy for you guys, a nice beginner's level project here. If you guys enjoy my tutorials, please like and subscribe. It does help me out on YouTube, and I much appreciate it. So adding in these tiny little branches does create a really nice fillers. The final part that I did is just taking the back of my brush with the purple and adding in some dots for the center of the flowers. You can skip this part if you don't want to add some dots, but I thought it would be cute. So let me know what you guys think about this very simple project, and if you're going to give it a go. Sign your painting. You guys just created a masterpiece. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.